What would you say if I told you that I had one of my best flight experience with Lufthansa? Well, I wouldn't believe it myself either. Is Lufthansa business class as bad as everyone says, with the dreaded 2-2 configuration? Join me as we take a 12-hour flight from Seoul, South Korea to Frankfurt, Germany. And spoiler alert, I was surprised. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna fly the Queen of the Skies, the 747 with the Lufthansa in their business class. We're gonna be on the upper deck. I'm so excited. I've never been on the upper deck on the Queen of the Skies, so that's gonna be cool. We're currently at Kansai International Airport. We're gonna fly a short hop with Asiana from Osaka to Seoul, and then from Seoul in Lufthansa 747 to Frankfurt. Stay tuned. We arrived early in the morning at the airport and there was no queue to speak of. So I'm really curious about how the 747 cabin is going to be on the upper deck. Never flown on the upper deck, so it's going to be super cool to check out. Know that Lufthansa's business class seat isn't industry leading or isn't the best. I'm not sure about the service, so that's going to be cool to check out. Currently waiting for check-in. There is a Lufthansa check-in over there, but I couldn't use that. So we have to wait for Asiana to open, and then we're gonna check in. It's gonna open in like 20 minutes or something, so we'll see. So this was the quickest check-in and security screening I've ever been through, and immigration control. It was super fast. We are kind of early in the morning, so that's maybe why, but Japan, you are amazing here. You are so efficient. Now we're going to the duty-free, so let's see what we're gonna buy. After shopping for some sake at the duty-free, I decided to check out the lounge. Starline's Gold and business class passengers are invited to the ANA lounge located at gate 15. The lounge is small but has everything you need to settle down before boarding your aircraft. I opted for a coffee and worked a little in the lounge. Soon it was time to board our first leg of the flight on an Airbus A330 to Seoul. The flight had an old regional cabin from Asiana and it felt like I stepped back in time. Soon thereafter it was time for takeoff and some food. The food was mediocre but acceptable for this short flight. The flight went quickly and we landed on time in Seoul. After disembarking and going through security, we were in the main terminal building at Seoul. We didn't waste any time and headed straight to the lounge. The lounge at the West Wing was big and spacious with a lot of seating options and variety of food choices. So the flight from Osaka was kind of nice. It was 1.5 hours in the air. Got served a 3-course meal. Was okay food. Now we're currently in the Asiana lounge at Seoul International. Really nice lounge. We're in the West Wing. They have 3 lounges here, Asiana. West, East and Central. And we're currently in the West Wing and we can see our airplane from here. I'm going to show you later. So excited to go on the 747 on the upper deck. I've never been there before, so it's going to be super nice to test out. Hopefully I will be able to film. I know that Lufthansa has been a little bit strict about filming, but I will only film myself and not the crew, of course. So a little bit food now and we will go on board. I had to get to the gate early to get some good pictures of the plane, and so did I. Look at that beauty. Flying the Boeing 747 Queen of the Skies is an epic experience, and Lufthansa is one of the last remaining airlines in the world that still flies this aircraft type, with 27 Boeing 747s in their fleet. While we wait to board, let's check out the seat map of this aircraft. Lufthansa's Boeing 747-8 is divided into 4 classes over 2 floors: First, Business, Premium Economy and Economy. Starting at the lower deck in the back, there are 244 economy class seats configured in a 3-4-3 layout. Note that there is a mini cabin of economy class between premium economy and business class. Moving to premium economy, there are 32 seats in a 2-4-2 configuration with better legroom. In business class, there are a total of 80 seats spread over 3 cabins. The largest business class cabin is located on the lower deck, behind first class, and features 6 rows of 36 seats arranged in a 2-2-2 layout. The smallest business class cabin is also located on the lower deck, separated from the larger business class by a galley, and features only 2 rows of 12 seats, also arranged in a 2-2-2 layout. All the way in the front of the plane there are 8 first class seats configured in a 1-1 configuration, except the honeymoon seats in the back, which are together. The upper deck features the third business class cabin with 8 rows of 32 seats arranged in a 2-2 layout. Due to the 2-2 layout, this cabin has a more intimate feel and is the best business class cabin. It almost feels like flying a private plane. A short wait after arriving at the gate, it was time for boarding. I was a little bit afraid of filming on board since Lufthansa has a policy on filming on board, and I have been yelled at before when entering the cabin. Luckily the crew was super nice and friendly. We entered through the lower front door of the aircraft, walked through the first section of 36 business class seats, and then took the stairs to the upper deck. It is so cool to walk up a stairway on an airplane. Once upstairs, we were welcomed by a cozy and compact cabin. With a 2-2 configuration, this cabin has a more intimate feel. At our seat, a firm pillow and a blanket, both in Lufthansa blue, white and beige, were already on the seat, in addition to the mattress topper and some slippers. Each window seats on the upper deck had a large storage compartment next to it. The bins were big enough to store multiple personal bags, shoes and nearly anything else you wanted out of the overhead bins. The storage compartments flush against the windows were only available on the upper deck on the 747. All pairs of seats along the window and in the cabin center are angled slightly towards one another. This might be great for couples, but not for solo travelers since the foot compartment is located next to your neighbor and possibly that your legs and feet occasionally touch while resting or sleeping. Overall, all seats lack privacy and there's not even a divider or privacy screen between the paired seat, which nowadays feels completely dated for a business class product. If you are new here, my name is Magnus and I'm obsessed with airlines, luxury flying and all about travel. I love maximizing my points to get sweet deals, and when my points run low, I use my hard-earned money. If you love to see more, check out some of my other videos in the link in the description or on my channel. If you're enjoying this journey with me, pressing that subscribe button would be amazing. It's your support that enables me to share my honest reviews and give you an unbiased review of airlines. Now back to the video. Wow, this cabin is kind of nice actually, even though it's a 2-2 configuration. On the upper deck it's a little bit narrower than below, but it's super comfortable and cozy actually. And you can see out, it's really high up, super cool. Just had a chat with the pursers. He was super nice, so friendly, and he showed me his camera because I have a lot of camera equipment, and yeah, we had a really good chat. So far in the flight, I haven't even pushed from the gate yet, but super nice, really good crew. So I think this is gonna be a super flight. Now we're gonna do a seat tour and have a look around soon. Let's push first. Let's start with a seat tour. Right in front of you there is a 15-inch touchscreen TV. The screen can be pulled to the side and does tilt, but it was not perfectly visible in the lie-flat position. The screen is also glossy and reflection can easily be a problem if you don't lower your window shades. Under the TV is a magazine holder, and by the floor is another compartment. Here there was a bottle of water and the provided amenity kit, which we will look at later. Next to the TV is your ottoman, which is kind of narrow and small. Your feet are also close to your neighboring seats, so if you're traveling solo, it's not ideal. Underneath the ottoman is another storage area for a small backpack. Next to your seat is a small area for a wine glass, nuts or other small items. Underneath that is also the seat control with basic seat options such as 3 preset options, upright, lounge and lie flat. It is also possible to adjust the different parts of the seat. Underneath the center armrest you will find the tray table and the handheld remote for the in-flight entertainment. In the deep well there are permanently attached headphones and a USB-A charging port. The tray table is released with a push and you drag it up. It comes out folded and it's sturdy. It is possible to get out of your seat while the table is up, but if you are sitting by the window you also have to get over your neighbor. The mechanism to get the tray table up or down is easy and does not require a lot of force. In your headrest there is also an integrated reading light, which works well and is not noticeable when your seat is in bed mode. The headrest can also be moved up or down, but has no flaps if you want to rest in a sitting position. On the opposite side there is a retractable armrest which can be lowered when you're sleeping, making it a bit wider for your shoulders. By the window you have the massive storage option with the compartments, and you can easily fit your carry-on in there, ignoring the overhead bins if you're sitting by the window. A really smart utilization of space. Lastly, there are no individual air nozzles here, so it's up to the cabin crew to find your desired temperature. On my flight it was perfect. As soon as we walked up the stairs, the crew warmly welcomed us and started the pre-flight service. They even knew our connecting flight and asked if we were from Norway based on our names, which was impressive. The service started immediately after we sat down in our seats with a bag of nuts and a choice between champagne, orange juice or water as pre-departure drinks. I chose the champagne. The crew also distributed today's menu, which we will look at a bit later. Today's flight will take us from Seoul to Europe, a distance over 5,300 miles, departing in the afternoon local time from Seoul and arriving in the evening the same day in Frankfurt. The flight time is estimated to take approximately 13 hours and 15 minutes. As soon as we were up in the air, the crew started the service. Today's menu consisted of a 3-course meal to start, and then before landing it was dinner and dessert. For appetizer you had the choice between beef, vegetable rolls and chicken, grilled prawn, or burrata with mango salsa. For the main course there were 3 choices: chicken, salmon or a Korean dish with beef, soup and some side dishes. For dessert there was a choice between cheese, fruit or a cake. The crew started the service by handing out hot towels before putting down a white tablecloth. After ordering some drinks, an amuse-bouche was served, which was tasteful, but I have no idea what it was. For starters, I opted for the burrata with cherry tomatoes and pesto with ricotta eggplant rolls. It was a really good appetizer and probably the best meal of today's journey. With high hopes, I opted for the chicken confit with almond romesco salsa, young baby potatoes and zucchini, which was the driest chicken I've ever gotten, I think. The taste was a little bit bland, but it helped a lot with salt and pepper. A really disappointing main dish, to be honest. My girlfriend chose the Korean dish, which she said was okay. Since I've already eaten in the lounge, I opted for the fresh fruit, which was a little bit disappointing too. Look at that small bowl of 2 grapes, a sliced apple, melon and an orange. Not that impressive. My girlfriend had the cake, which looked good and tasted nice. Even though the food was a little bit disappointing, there was nothing to say about the crew during the meal service. They were attentive, asking for refills for our glasses and always with a smile on their faces. Since we had a long flight ahead of us, I wanted to change into my pyjamas and take a nap. Lufthansa does not provide pyjamas in business, even on longer flights like this, but they do offer pyjamas in first class, which I tried back in 2022. You will find the link to this video in the description or on the end screen of this video. Let's change into the pyjamas and check out the toilets while we're at it. There are 3 toilets on the upper deck and they are stocked with amenities like mouthwash, face mask, earplugs and disinfection wipes. It's not the biggest toilet, but it's functional even with a full-size mirror. Back at my seat, I converted my seat into the bed. Each business class seats converts into a 78-inch or 198 centimeters long fully flat bed. Lufthansa provides you with a padded mattress topper, which is nice but thin. In addition, you will get a plush pillow and a warm marine blue blanket. The bed is surprisingly comfortable, even though you don't have much legroom. So this is the Lufthansa bed. Really narrow in the foot area, as you can see. Both of my legs there, and it's long enough for me. I'm 180 or 5'11", so it's completely fine. Here it's actually a lot of room here. You can see that this shelf is a little bit bothering my shoulder, but now I'm holding the mic, or hand actually, or arm. But I think when I leave the mic, we will be fine. So I'm gonna sleep. The food was okay. The appetizer was super nice. The main course I had the chicken, that was just okay, I think. And dessert I had the fruit and the cake. Nothing to complain about. The chicken was a little bit too dry. That's the only thing I want to complain about. But yeah, now it's time to sleep. I think we have 9 hours left in the journey, so plenty of time to sleep, and we will check out the cabin later. See ya! Let's get some sleep and see you in some hours. So I slept for around 3 hours. Really nice, sleeping. Now we have around 4:40 left of the flight. The crew has put out some snacks in the front galley here. Just got some, let's see, turmeric and cheese and a glass of water. So yeah, it was really comfortable bed actually. The only thing was that the foot area is kind of small, but it actually didn't bother me at all. So it was really good. So yeah, we're gonna see summarize everything when we land in Frankfurt. But I'm actually really impressed by Lufthansa here. I've heard so much bad things about them, but I'm actually surprised. Amazing crew, seats are better than I expected. So yeah. While I was eating the snacks I've gotten, let's go through the in-flight entertainment system on board. Even though the screen isn't the best out there and I'm struggling to push the correct buttons on the screen, the content inside is really good. Lufthansa has a huge library with new movies, TV shows, live television and onboard cameras. In your seat there are also some noise-cancelling headphones from AKG. Unfortunately they are on-air rather than over-air, making it hard to wear them for a long period. Sipping on my coffee to wake up, I checked out the onboard Wi-Fi. Lufthansa provide Wi-Fi on board, but unfortunately it's not free for business class passengers, only for first class passengers. For a full flight package you have to pay 29 euros, but if you buy it before your flight it's 25 euros. The connection is slow and the maximum speed is 4 megabit per second, which is okay just to stay connected. However, during the flight there were a lot of bad connection, making me refresh the site multiple times before actually getting on the sites I wanted. Don't rely on this if you want to work the entire flight. While we are checking the extras, let's look at the amenity kit. The kit is from Porsche design and contains the bare minimum such as socks, lip balm, hand cream, toothbrush and some headphone covers. If you want an eye mask, earplugs or mouthwash, everything is in the lavatory. A nice feature to reduce waste, as I have my own sleeping mask from Manta. You can check it out in the link down below, I absolutely love it. After watching some TV, it was time for the second meal before landing. Another round of hot towels were handed out before the white tablecloth was put down again. This time there was a 2-course meal with beef goulash with linguine pasta and vegetables. And for dessert it was some fresh fruit. The second meal was just okay, the beef and pasta lacked some salt, and this time we didn't get any salt on our plate. To summarize the food experience on board, it was below par for me. Lufthansa needs to improve its catering department to raise the bar of its food offering, especially compared to other business class products out there. While the presentation is okay and the drink selection is good, the quality and the taste of the main dishes in particular needs significant improvement. While I fold my tray table down and head to the bathroom to change into my regular clothes before landing, I want to summarize a little bit. Even though the food wasn't great, the crew really helped to set this flight apart from other business class experience I've had before. The purser was the nicest purser that I ever had on a flight, and he was so genuine and friendly and took time to speak with us. He saw all my camera equipment and was instantly curious. He even showed me his newest camera, the DJI Go 3, and we airdropped the takeoff roll we both had taken. It wasn't only the purser that was nice, it was the entire crew. So here Lufthansa has done some impressive training on transcontinental flights. I have been on intra-Europe Lufthansa flight, and here it can be hit or miss when it comes to the crew. Well, this was Lufthansa from Seoul to Frankfurt, a super flight. What made the flight so good was probably the crew. Super nice crew, so friendly, and they made the whole journey actually. The food was okay, really good appetizer. Main was a little bit dried chicken. Dessert was good. The pre-landing food was tasteless, I would say, but overall it was really good. The seats were comfortable, much better than I anticipated. So yeah, until next time, have a safe flight.